Good morning, great souls. So good to be with you today. So grateful for the music and those readings. And Letty, thank you for what you read and how you read it. It's always a delightful surprise to what will be the whispers and then just how perfectly aligned it is. Same thing with the music. I never know ahead of time what it will be, and I'm always moved by that. So what a reading. Okay, so what I'll begin with is the divine mystery. The mystery of the Avatara, this incarnation of divinity. And how, I was going to say, how do we make sense of it? Well, you can't make sense of it, right? It's not something, in one of our readings it says, can God be known, right? Not by the conscious mind. So that doesn't mean that we can't perceive God. Doesn't mean that I can't experience God. And on the highest level, in fact, that's what Swami's saying in the reading, be one with God. It's our destiny for that. So I was so aware of many different things, but this journey between the levels of consciousness, so subconscious habits and likes and dislikes, conscious mind, solving, right? Solving. And then superconscious perceiving. So perceiving, experiencing. And what I began to reflect upon is my own journey with God, that the struggle I had with conscious mind, and I'm sure subconscious as well, of how is this your plan? Right? And I could pick a number of things that I just felt like, I don't see how this is your plan, right? I didn't see how it was God's plan, but here I am moving forward, and there were enough indications that it was happening. So sometimes, how do you know? It's happening. So if it's happening, God is in charge. There has to be some level in which it's right. Unless of course, I'm being guided to do something actively about it. But even then, Swami says we have to accept it first. We cannot meet something with rejection and have any effectiveness in working with it. The very first thing must be truth, satya, acceptance. It is. Okay, I don't have to like it. And I remember learning that, right? So I thought acceptance meant I'm somehow signing on. No, I'm accepting. That was a conversation I had with God, right? Like, all right, so you're not asking me to like it. No, don't have to like it. You're not asking me to understand it. No, I'd like to. I could just feel this, basically a sense of, I understand, but it's not for you to know. And that was something early in my journey of learning. It came to me one time. It felt like a divine message. It has served me well. What you need to know, you will know. What you don't, you won't. So I have plenty of things of like, is this something you could explain, right? Plenty, no. So, okay. So then I was reminded of very recently, I was sitting in front of, we have a wall at home where the line of the masters. Had been praying and I was looking at them, and I just, I think of Asha, I don't remember the page number, in autobiography. Babaji, right? And Christ have worked out the salvation of this world. So I was sitting there just, kind of holding up what's happening in the world. What's happening? And I said, I don't know if I spoke it out loud, but communicating to our masters, wow, I do not see how all of this is happening, but I believe you are in charge and you're working out the salvation. And so sometimes when I speak to God, I know God doesn't really need me to say, these are my thoughts, but I need to say it. I need to say, basically, just so you know, I'm not getting it. It's a real mystery to me how this is part of the divine plan. And I don't know, there's just a silence of love that basically doesn't say anything, but I can just kind of feel like, I understand that you don't know. All right, so that's it. No insight, no clarity. Not on that, not today. Oh, okay. So the journey of that, it's been a long journey. It's an ongoing journey as I'm sharing. To recognize that my conscious mind is not going to get me there. And my subconscious mind, what I like and what I don't like, is not going to help me. It won't. I need to make space for it. I can't, like they say in the Gita, of what value suppression. I can't pretend that I feel any differently than I do, but what do I do about it? So go to prayer, meditation. Very recently, my goodness, I've heard this forever, it seems like, Lahiri's guidance for every issue, more Kriya, right? And boy, the conscious mind, I just have to say, my conscious mind is like, how does that work? How am I doing this and it's solving that? Well, a very, for me, humorous story came to mind of this, and I don't remember the names of the individuals in India, so this devotee was saying to his master, or his teacher, I don't know that he was a master, but he could have been. He was just saying, I don't know how to solve the financial issues of my life, right? And I know you talk to Krishna. So could you please ask Krishna for me? Because I need an answer. It's not working. Sure. Yeah. So he goes, he has his sadhana, his meditation. He comes back. What did he say? Oh, I forgot to ask him. What? Like you were talking to him, you experienced him, he was there, you didn't ask? I forgot, right? Like, oh, right. So every day he just kept saying, now today when you go, because I know you ask him. Very well, I will, right? Always the same. He was just so upset. Well, the beauty of the story is eventually the master gives the devotee an experience of the divine, in which he experiences Krishna, right? So there it is. It's vivid. He has the experience. Afterwards, the master said, what did he say about your finances? I forgot to ask. Like, when we're there, it's solution consciousness. There are no problems. There are no difficulties. So to accept that healing power, we say the prayer of Divine Mother, manifest thy healing presence, right? So to accept that is the answer for the journey, which will not answer all my questions. It does not answer all my questions. And it takes so much faith, so much strength. So I was just, before starting today, was in the restroom, and I love the flyers. So whoever does our flyers in the Sangha, I just always am completely inspired by them. And so there was a quote of Yogananda's saying the importance of company, the company we keep. And I just was rereading it, like, gosh, that's so true. And part of why it spoke to me so much today is because I'm sharing about, my journey with the divine. Well, the other thing that's been challenging is how my spiritual life can put me at odds in personal relationships. That's the hardest for me. I don't want that at all. And there have been I've just watched it, certain things. So, the first that comes to mind, it wasn't the first, I've talked about it before, but sobriety, like getting into sobriety. Well, I wasn't completely on board myself, right? I just knew my life needed to take a different direction. I couldn't comprehend the title alcoholism. I couldn't comprehend, I didn't want it for sure. Or drug addiction, okay. It is what I hold it just so differently today is what I would say. Like, this body has a sensitivity to that. Same thing with the brain. It does, I accept it, right? And it doesn't, I don't know. I'm grateful for that acceptance. I'm grateful for the grace that's come from walking that path. So for me, it began with 12 steps, a spiritual path. And that path, boy, I could sense it at the time. This whisper from eternity, I really could, that was saying, you're seeing this as a problem. Yes, I am seeing this as a problem. Right? You're viewing this trajectory as, something that's wrong. I am viewing that way, right? What you don't know is the blessings that it's going to bring you, and already bringing you. I didn't know that, right? But I was at a place of surrender through what are my other choices, right? It's unbelievable how it's blessed my life. I still wouldn't have written it. I don't know, maybe I agreed beforehand. I'm not sure. But has not been easy, right? Recently, someone said to me, I've heard this before. She said, I am so grateful for all the challenges you've been through. goes, I know. She goes, and I'm sorry to say that. Like, I'm not really glad you had to go through all this, but you have helped me so much because of it. I said, and it tears me up. I said, I know. It's so crystal clear to me. Like, you seem to understand. I do. I do understand, right? Like, not that I understand completely your journey, but it connects. It connects. And I've been given, I'm grateful for, but I had to accept it, the way out, right? Same thing with yoga. Yoga came in 15 years into sobriety. I was like, wow, okay, this is a whole nother level. And I asked in prayer and meditation, well, am I like shifting now just yoga? It can work for people totally, right? The inner message, no, but go very deep in it. Go very deep in it. Stay connected to 12 steps. Go very deep in this. And then you'll see, it'll come together. And now it is. And now I have an opportunity to help people who go, I'm walking these two paths and I know I have to. I know I can't leave this one or this one, but I can't figure out how it fits. And to be able to say, I can share with you how it fits for me. What a joy, what a blessing that only comes from the journey. Okay, that's true, and I'm grateful for it. The pause is, the pause is this, that, the journey forward has not been seamless. It's not been seamless. And so the choices, a dear friend of mine, this is coming to mind right now, she called me after I had to stop spending time with her. And I couldn't explain why. I could not explain why. And okay, so I needed to step out, and I prayed about it. It wasn't easy. And most of it wasn't just spending time with her, but the activities. I couldn't do those activities. I couldn't. And many years later, she called me out of the blue. I don't think I even knew she knew my phone number. Maybe she got it from my family. Just because we're old friends. And she said, I understand now every choice you've made. I get it. I see how every decision you've made has created the life you're living today. I was like, wow. I just felt like, okay, it's true. She said, I just want you to know I see it. And I remember two things. One, it felt like a divine validation. Thank you, God, that feels good. And the other is how nice it would have been if she'd seen it then. Like, by the time she saw it, I was resolved. I was in a place of peace. I'd made those decisions. I was okay with those. I was making new decisions. So sometimes I have to confront it's not the dominant experience of my life, but it's there, and it came up as I prepared today for the talk, of when someone can't understand the decisions I'm making. And it's a conflict. Right? It's one thing to not understand with a sense of ease, a sense of harmony, of like, wow, I don't really understand, but I have space for that. I don't like it. Kind of what I was saying earlier, my journey with God, right? Like, okay, you don't have to like it. Can you make room for it? No. Right? No. Okay, so then what do I do? Right? And so with James, we've talked about this, but one of the hard ones for us has been with his siblings. And it doesn't come up all the time, but occasionally it comes up. And so the not understanding of the life choices we've made, of really deeply dedicating ourselves to Ananda, which is, for those who know the Sevaka order, like, it's your life. You're dedicating that. It's so right for us. But that means a lot of activities we won't come to. And we said, you can invite us, but please don't expect us, because it's very unlikely. We'll try to do the really big things. Weddings. We'll try. So recently, all this energy going around of a big family reunion, right? Now, I have to say, as much as I know that it's the right decision for us not to go, I still have I want us all to get along, and can't we spend time together, and do I really need to not be there? So we got the message separately. I was sitting with it. I asked James, what do you think about family reunion, right? He said, I think it would be lovely and awful. It was like truth piercing the heart. I go, oh my gosh. And the first thing I said is, yeah, but I just want it to be lovely. He goes, yeah, I know. And I knew immediately the problem is I won't know what parts will be lovely and what parts will be awful. And to assume that it won't take a toll on my consciousness and set me back, right? And this is the difficulty that Swami's talked about in certain questions. How do you know the right choice? Well, you have to pray about it and go deep inside and have guides that you speak to. I mean, that's how I know. And live with some certain amount of, okay, this is clear, but how do we explain it? And so recently, these messages are going around. James, on his email, I'm changing it too, to say Naya Swami, right? We didn't mention to the family. We took Naya Swami. Like, no, let's not go there. It's enough. They'll notice at some point. You guys are always in blue. Yeah, we'll just answer it when it comes up. So anyways, they notice. What's with the title? Naya Swami James, what does that mean? So I noticed, it's yours. I thought he answered it beautifully, really. And sincerely, so I want to say this, one of his sisters, I just feel, and this is the difference I want to say, is that she really is sincerely trying to understand. She is. And we, a couple years ago, had a beautiful time together with her and her partner. And both James and I, she's like, I can tell you love us. We do. She's like, I can feel it, right? I can feel that your life, it's really working for you. It is. She's like, but I don't understand. And she listed all these things. And one of the things she listed is, how come you can't be more integrated? Like it be a slice of your life. Why can't God be a slice of your life? And this is a slice, and this is a slice. And I said, and boy, the thing for me is like, I really understand that question. That's what I wanted God's plan to be. Can't it just be that? Can't you be part of every other great thing I'm doing? No. I mean, Asha talks about this in the Gita. You get to a certain point where you're like, oh, so I have to fully commit and let all that go. Yeah, there's a certain point in the journey. So anyway, we had a beautiful time, but we left, and I just allow the chasm to exist. Allow it to exist. Keep sending love. Don't try to solve it. You can't solve it. You can't. I want to. I really do. And so then she wrote us back after just the two of us, after James's answer, and just wanted to know, can you please explain renunciation? Please. And the way she asked it was so lovely, I will give it a try. Right? I will be praying about it, sitting with it. I'll do my best with a whole lot of grace calling upon it. And then just say, I need to accept. Maybe it will land, maybe it won't. And more than anything, I'd love to explain it. More than anything. Well, I don't know if more than anything. I guess God, I want more than anything. Or if that was true, I forget Naya Swami. Like, I'm just going to stay connected in this way. And so, I guess what I'm sharing is the human walk of it, like making choices. And so what I do in relationships where there's a conflict the other thing I'll just say with this is that I got 2 emails, I think on the same day, and one was from her, and one was from someone else I really care about who's so mad with the decision I made. And, the energy of it is just, so hard. And, so it's one of those things that, again, I get some support for it, right? So just James, a dear spiritual friend, what's your sense? I would not respond. Really? I'd kind of started an email. I would not respond. Both of them separately said, you cannot solve this on that level. It cannot be solved on that level. I'm like, and I knew what they meant. Like, okay, so super conscious then. Right. Which means, okay, so you let it hang out there for as long as you need. You let it hang out there because you can't answer it that way. It's going to pull you into, okay, so what did I do last night, Kriya? Okay, I need help. Off to the temple I go, right? And I could feel by the end of it the promise of peace, the promise of, okay, it's in your hands, it's in your hands, it's in your hands, and help me. Just help me walk it, help me be in it. And I feel the help. I feel it. I do. I'm grateful for it. So, that to me was, the mystery of Avatara. So I will end with this, where how all of Jesus's disciples were confused about his mission, right? They're like, what? How'd that happen, right? Jerusalem, Palm Sunday, this is fantastic, right? And then everyone's going to get on board. Everyone will get on board. They'll see why we follow this master. He's so fantastic, right? Oh, okay, well that didn't, as Asha says, yeah, right, and we have that song from the oratorio. None could see. Jesus knew. They didn't understand. It's not going to end the way you feel it should. It's not, but it's still going to be right. It's still going to be right, and there'll be divine power in it, and if you can enter in with receptivity, it will change you. You'll perceive it. So the journey continues, and that's the best that I can share about the mystery of the Avatara, right? And so I just invite you to, as Keshava just really introduced us so beautifully, open, seek, and give your best, right? Not just my failures, which I do. Give your best and enjoy the reward, the treasure of God. So.
Let's take a moment, take these words inward.
Rejected, washing.